Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JUCO Jam, Season 4, Episode 6. I know why you're here. It's Brandon Goebel, the JUCO advocate himself. Brandon, thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, sir. We're
Where
back.
else where else would you rather be
No,
than on JUCO Jam?
and the Hutch talk has started. For those of you that don't know, Nick and I do communicate outside of this show. And so the Hutch plans have begun. Who do we like? Who do we think we're going to see? That's all starting. That means we're getting close.
Reservations have been made,
Woo!
so it's
I have a place
official.
to stay.
Chili's, get ready. Nick and Brandon are coming to town. All right, let's jump right into the rewind, if we shall. Speaking of teams that we expected, Hutch, Thursday night, Midland Drums, South Plain, 105 to 84. Yohandri Ortiz, 30 points for the Texans. Bo Hearns, 27 points, just playing incredible basketball. We featured him earlier on in the season. As a team, 13 for 28 from three. That's 46%. Caden Reed, 13 assists, one turnover. There's a lot of talk about all of the great point guards in junior college basketball. And man, there is a bunch of them this year. Man, Caden Reed, the straw that stirs the drink. I think I got that one right this year. He is having an incredible season. He's getting everybody in the right place at the right time. I really like his game. Brandon, thoughts on South Plains Midland?
South Plains is obviously much better than a 21 point loss. But Midland that night played like a machine, and quite honestly, they've been playing like a machine for a while now. Bo has taken a big step up. He's as talented as anybody in junior college, and he's got great size and length. So as he continues to grow and really kind of, lock into the type of player that he needs to be for them to be successful, I mean, that's a high major talent that you have. And then all of a sudden you throw in there a really, really good point guard, which, is tough these days, right? Like a lot of people don't want to be point guards, right? They just want to
Yeah,
score.
and a pass first point
Yeah.
guard.
And when you got players like Bo and you have a real pass first point guard, like that just takes Bo's ability to score to a whole nother level, including everybody else on the team as well.
Everybody
So
likes to eat the crispers. Not everybody likes to bring the crispers, right? And he's,
100%.
you know, he's the delivery man.
So, Coach Amity has them playing really, really well. Right there for the argument between, for number one team in the country. And if I know anything about Coach Amity, there's a lot of conversation of we're not looking at our record, we are on to the next game, which is a very cliche thing that everybody always
He's
says.
not
But
taking his foot off the gas.
yeah, but there's like that's a real thing for him and this squad of keeping them focused. So excited to watch them the rest of the way.
Going to be fun to watch. Another team that's going to be fun to watch is our good friends out in Utah, the Badgers of Snow. Get a very big 81-74 win over Utah State Eastern. I was super impressed with Liam Davis. Came off the bench with 17 for Eastern on 7 of 8 field goals. McCaden Adams, maybe National Player of the Year, 19 points. Hit all 4 of his free throws, Brandon. I like seeing that. 4 Badgers in double figures. Good win for Snow.
Yeah, Snow, another team right there. Who's number one? They've got their argument to make. Utah State Eastern's playing really good basketball this year. Bill Evans doing a really good job there. That's a tough loss, but a good performance by USUE. And so
And I
that
like the fact that they weren't penalized in the poll.
yeah,
They remain in the poll, I think, at 23. They didn't drop. They played really well. They look the part. They got a good thing going on there.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And a team that in a lot of other leagues would be for sure fighting for that number one spot. So
Saturday we had a couple of bangers, Brandon. Tallahassee 66 over Northwest Florida 59. Braylon Roman, the point guard for the Raiders, 20 points. As a team, though, Northwest Florida, 5 out of 19 from three. That's 26%. Shane Cherry led the Eagles with 25. As a team, 11 for 25. That's 44%. So doing some quick math here, Tallahassee wins the game by 7, but they got 18 more points from the 3-point line. As a team, Tallahassee only 6 turnovers, something that I like to see this time of year. I'm going to give you a second game here as well, let you go wherever you'd like to with it. Walters State get a big win on the road, 87-59 over Columbia State. Walters State as a team hit 61 out of 31 threes. That's 52%. Taquez Butler, 6 out of 9. Carter Webb, 5 for 7. Um, two good wins, Tallahassee, Walter State there. Brandon, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's just great to see Tallahassee playing, really good basketball. They're a program with really good history. He's got them rolling. Northwest Florida is going to be fine. Just kind of a weird off night for them. Didn't play the way that they're very, very capable of doing. And then, for Walter State to go into Columbia State and get a win like that, that's really hard to do. So they're screaming up the polls as well. It's just we talked about this last week that you can just kind of keep going down the list of teams of, gosh, that team can win it all. That team can win it all. That team
Yeah.
can win it all.
It's going to take a lot to beat Walter State. Carter Webb, Brandon, a freshman. Velvety shot. It looks like Devin Booker. Every time it comes out of the hands, I swear it's in. I'm shocked when one does not. He's a fun kid to watch shoot the ball. And I wanted to save this one for last in the rewind. It's the granddaddy of them all. Indian Hills Southeastern. Indian Hills wins 68-61. My big takeaway from this, Tajah Duke, the point guard for the Warriors. Once again, a lot of great point guards in the country. Nobody's talking about Taj. I love this kid. If I'm in a close game playing the Warriors, I'm saying to my guys, I'm not letting him beat us. I'm sending bodies at him. I'm doubling him, tripling him. Somebody else is going to beat me. This guy in the clutch is electric. He hits everything in the last 4 minutes of a game.
You
Brandon,
know,
thoughts?
I have a theory here. Because of the environment that we're in now with the transfer portal and all that sort of stuff, I think we're going to see a lot of really good point guards coming through junior college because, in the past they would have just been recruited straight to Division One. Now they're coming through junior college. And so, 5 years ago, we were kind of down on point guards in JUCO. The best point guards went on to Division One. Everyone else was trying to score the ball, or at least, be a combo, whatever that means. Everybody's got a different definition. But I think we're seeing some really good true point guard play come through now. And that's just better for everybody in junior college. So, Duke, phenomenal player. And Indian Hill Southeastern, I mean, you saw there, it's a 7-point game. Indian Hills, one of the best teams in the country this year. It just doesn't matter how good a team is in that rivalry. It's always going to be a good game.
And then on Monday, we had a couple of really great games in Whack Jack. Howard gets a big win, 73-55 over New Mexico. Um, New Mexico 7 for 23 from three. Howard had an 11 rebound advantage. Our big guy inside, Terry Copeland, 17 and 12, 5 Hawks in double figures. A little bit of an unusual game. Both teams had 22 turnovers. I can't imagine either coach is happy about that. Midland 82 over Odessa 63. I wouldn't have guessed a 19-point victory. We talked about Midland earlier. They are an absolute machine right now. Caden Reed with 15, Bo Hearns with 19. He finished 5 out of 8. He had a stretch where he hit 5 out of 6 early in the first half. As a team, 9 for 17 for three. I can't imagine there's too many times when bucket ball has given up a greater than 50% 3-point percentage to another team.
Yeah, shout out to Bo Hearns there. That he set the tone right away, right? And didn't have a huge statistical game after that, but that early output just kind of, I think, threw
Just
Odessa.
mic drop.
Yeah, and they really struggled to recover from that. Um, and Howard again just hits you everywhere, but having Terry Copeland is one thing. Figuring out how to use a real big man in JUCO is another thing, right? We see lots of times where really good big men have, just okay impact in the game because
They can
JUCO.
get lost in the shuffle, right? You have to go out and guard a 6'4" guy, or you get guarded by a 6'4" guy. Like it's a little wonky.
A lot of speed, less organization, I guess, sometimes. And, because junior college is just a different space. You're replacing 13 players every year.
Yeah.
But so
I think you see a lot of zone too, right? Like when you got to do some things when the other team does have a big man, you don't match up. So you get more doubles and triples, and you aren't necessarily playing one-on-one,
yeah,
like you might at the Division 1 level. But man, great freshman season by Terry Copeland so far.
yep, absolutely. It doesn't matter what you throw at him, he's ready for it.
All right, we're going to turn the page, Brandon. We're going to move to the rundown. Really excited about tonight. Triton at Indian Hills. It's credit union night in Ottumwa. I cannot wait. To my knowledge, Triton has never won in Ottumwa. Triton a bit up and down, still a lot of talent on that roster. Um, this is just a nice little regional deal we got going on here. Triton Trojans, the Warriors, Russ W. Oker on the call. Make sure you get the Iowa Media Network app on your phone. It's great. They do a great job there. I'm super excited. I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go to Chili's, load up, and be ready for this game, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, by the time this airs, we'll have already known who comes out victorious here. But
Indeed.
great game. This
We're
is
telling
starting
people it
to,
was a great game in advance of the game happening.
yeah, for sure. A great matchup. We'll see. But one of those that's turning into a really, really good rivalry, right? Like this is just always a slobber knocker fest. So, yeah, excited for this. And this is a little bit like one where it's again, doesn't really matter which team, where they're at in their season, whatever, like it's gonna be it should be a good game.
Talking about more basketball that we're going to discuss, and the outcomes will be known before this airs. Two big ones on Wednesday. Chipola at Gulf Coast. Don't look now, Brandon. We got a tie in Jayhawk basketball. Dodge City Independence fighting for first place. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, you would, because you told me before the season both teams were good. What gets you the most excited about Wednesday night?
Hey, Donnie Tyndall versus the mentor versus the mentee. Lane below, at Gulf Coast there. That's just kind of a cool thing for them to get after it there. Gulf Coast is playing really good basketball right now, and Chipola is always dangerous. And then Dodge City at Independence, Jay Stedman's doing a great job there at Independence. Really honing in, playing their best basketball coming into conference play, which the Jayhawk is just was so tough. But Dodge City was one that we circled early in the fall when we got to see him and say, hey, I think this is a little bit of a different Dodge team. And we're going to talk about one of their players later on. But just playing really good basketball right now, and so there's so many good matchups every week in the Jayhawk, but this one's going to be a doozy.
Four-way tie. Butler, Dodge, Independent, Seward, all 7-3. Cali, Coffeyville, both coaches, friends of the program, 6-4. Garden City and Hutch, 5-5.
Yeah, and
Barton
and it,
Barton right now is in ninth place.
yeah, pick one of those teams, and say they're definitely going to win it, and I'll call you crazy.
I think 16-8 gets it done. All right, here we go. Thursday night, we're gonna spread the sugar around the country a little bit more. Three games worth discussing. Jones at Mississippi Gulf Coast. Mississippi Gulf Coast has had a great season. Murray State at Connors State. Snow at CSI. Wow, that's great.
That's just great. That's just a great Thursday.
It's just really good. I feel good about it. It makes me happy. I mean, this is what I want for Christmas. You know what I want? I mean, I don't need presents. I don't need anything decadent. I need snow CSI on the
Yeah,
Scenic West Conference
that's
Network.
that's gonna be a great one. I'll reserve thoughts on the use of the Scenic West Conference app, but the um, CSI is playing really, really good. Playing at CSI is always really hard. That town is just jacked up that they're playing, really good basketball right now. And then you have, arguably number one team in the country coming into play. Yeah, that's going to be a doozy.
And CSI says, hey, we think we're in the mix. We think we're underrated. We think we're as good as anybody in the country. Thursday night, they get to make their case to the jury that is junior college basketball fans everywhere. Saturday, Brandon, I'll leave you with these two. I don't know where you want to go with it. Gulf Coast at Tallahassee, maybe a battle of two of the best young coaches in the game. And then Seward at Dodge, once again, both teams entering conference play this week in first place.
Yeah, you've got two games there featuring teams that are, kind of re-emerging, right? Tallahassee, and Seward. It's been a minute since Seward's been in the discussion for, playing at that level. So going into Dodge City, who's great, and we'll just be coming off of a big game at Independence. We'll see how that one goes. But Seward's got a tough test there. And then Gulf Coast at Tallahassee, that's must-see TV on
And I'll
Saturday.
give you a little bit of credit, Brandon. Last year, I said, man, I don't know how good the Seward job is. I was like, I don't know that you could win there. And you said, no, no,
No.
it is a good job. It's a very good job, and you can win at Seward. You just have to have the right coach in the right place at the right time. Off to a great start. Seward, 7-3 in conference, 12-4 overall. I think that's a great year one start. All right.
Doing work.
Doing work. All right. That ends the rundown. Stay with us. We're going to go to a commercial break, get rehydrated. When we come back, we're going to have Coach Kyle Cooper from the Howard Hawks with us.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are honored today to have one of our favorite coaches with us. We have Coach Kyle Cooper from the Howard Hawks. Howard, number 5 in the country, 16-1, won 16 games in a row. And as we record on Tuesday, coming off a big conference win over New Mexico. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on JUCO Jam.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm excited to talk some.
Awesome. You guys are off to a great start. Brandon and I are big fans of the Hawks. We've been so for several years. Unfortunately, truth being told, every time we've said something good about you guys, we've had an injury, we've had a random loss. So we do feel like this is the year where we're reversing the curse. So we're all Hawks, all ahead. Obviously, you guys have had a great season so far. What has just surprised you the most about this team?
I would say that the togetherness of the group, 'cause you never know when you recruit a team how they're going to mesh and how they're going to buy in. I think we have a roster of a lot of talented guys and a lot of depth, and just their overall commitment to winning. Because I mean that's always a question mark. I mean, you're not able to visit all these kids and you kind of get to know them a little bit. The commitment level from all of them has been very high.
I think one of Brandon's favorite players, amongst many on your roster, but he talked about him first before I heard anybody else mention him, was Terry Copeland, your big guy inside, 19-7. In a world where we don't really see a lot of dominant post presence in junior college basketball, Mr. Copeland is a guy that really stands out. You want to talk a little bit just about his campaign and what he means to your team?
Yeah, man. First off, he's a great person, which is a big part of it. I mean, I think he was 3.8 in the fall, GPA wise. Like he's really great to be around. He's great to coach. I mean, he's an everyday guy, and he leads us. He works really hard. He leads by example. As a basketball player goes, man, he's really good. He has the ability to score on the block, to guard for a big guy on the perimeter, and he can score. He has the ability to shoot from the outside as well. I think he's a special talent. Man, we're lucky to have him.
What excites you the most about this team as you kind of project where you could be here, in 2 months?
I would say just the toughness of the group. I think we have some guys that really care. That's a big part. They care about winning, and they're very connected. So that excites me. We've been doing this since they get here in August, September, that area. We've all been a part of it. Some years is not as connected as others, and you're actually excited to come to work this year. Which is a great thing. So I think that's a big part for us.
And it's just us talking here. Let's, unveil, take us behind the curtains, if you will. I want to know, like, not the fluffy stuff that media people get told, but like when you're really getting after your guys in the locker room, Like, what do you want to see them improve on to get back to Hutch? Like, what are you hammering home on then? Is it blocking out? Like, what are you really want to see improve?
Yeah, I'm sure they get sick of me talking about defense, but that's we're constantly talking about defense. I remember one game early in the year, I think a team hadn't scored in the first 9 minutes, and we have a timeout, and I'm yelling, "Oh, we're not playing hard enough." You know what I mean? I think it's it's one of those things where I believe defense and rebounding and valuing the basketball. I mean, if you can do those things, I think you put yourself in a situation to be successful. You know, so I mean that's usually what we're talking about, and then also talk about the our best player is the open man. So if we can have that philosophy, I think we have a chance to have a good year.
It just seems like following the national tournament at Hutch for the past 30 years or so, it seems like every team that's won a national title, like they've had like one game where the offense just didn't work. Like for whatever reason, just didn't work. On those nights, those are the nights where you have to really depend on rebounding and defense and not missing any box outs and all of that stuff that you harp on. There's going to be a random night in March where it just doesn't work. And that's the difference of moving on and not. And recruiting is such a hard thing at the junior college level, right? It's kind of like the Division I schools get their pick of everybody first, and then you're in there fighting and scrapping and clawing. Like, what's kind of your overall philosophy? You're just trying to bring in the best kids possible. If you end up with 7 point guards, you're going to find a way to make it work. Just give me your philosophy. You kind of got your lay of the land. Like, what are kind of the big intangible? You mentioned winning programs. Like, what's Coach Kyle Cooper got his eye on that to be a Howard Hawk?
I mean, that's hard. Like, every year you have a board. Well, we want to get so much size and we want to get so much shoot. We want to get all this stuff. And then after a while, it's like, okay, we got to get the best available. That's what it feels like, and that's kind of always been the philosophy is finding guys that fit what we want as far as like a character standpoint, a playing hard standpoint. And then when you get them here, then you figure out how to make it work. So again, we try to be, if we can, to have some bigger bigs and some guards that have the ability to dribble, pass, shoot, but the reality is there's a lot of years where you just got to take guys that fit, and then you got to make the roster constructed how it is.
Kind of have to adapt a little
Right.
bit to
Yeah.
the roster. All right. I've asked you the easy questions, Coach. I've kind of hopefully warmed you up a little bit. I'm going to hand it over to the heavy hitter that's going to get really to what the people are tuned in for here.
Coach, but before I get to the really hard question, I had one more I wanted to ask you because you have a bit of a unique situation where you have two guys coming off the bench that are committed to D1 programs. One of them will get announced later this week. But that's a rare thing to have guys getting recruited at that level, coming off the bench and are bought in to that role, right? A lot of times you would think, well, hey, I'm going D1, like I'm already committed. Like, why am I not, a focal point of what we're doing? Maybe talk just a little bit about like kind of your team philosophy, getting those guys to buy in. Everybody, I think really being a part of, the whole, right? So that you have Division I talent that says, I got you whatever you need.
I think that really speaks about the level of character that we have as far as them individually. I mean, they get a lot of credit for that, and that shows about how they care about winning more, I think, than individual success. So we have a lot of talented guys. I think we have a lot of guys that would start on a lot of different programs, and they come together for the team just to win. And that's the main focus. And again, a lot of credit for our different guys to buy into that because that's not the same case every year. Guys are committed to whatever is asked of them. If some nights means you play 25, 30 minutes and be a scorer, some nights you need to play 5, 8, 10 minutes a game, whatever it may be. It's just about winning. So again, I think that's why this group has a chance to be special.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to hit you with the hard one now. So now Howard is a little bit like the UT Martin of junior college. There's a lot of languages spoke in that locker room. And so, let's just imagine, if you will, that, you got a big win and you say, you know what, I need to give these international players the full American red and green experience. And you pull into a Chili's parking lot to really show them, how we do things here. What are you ordering at Chili's?
Say probably the chicken crispers. That's probably what I would go with. I mean, I like chicken, so I'd probably say that'd probably be the go-to for me. Again, we don't have one of those in Howard, but we're fortunate to have some in the area, and hopefully we're able to make Hutch and experience it there.
Ooh, there we go. Now, do you go honey chipotle chicken crispers? Are we going on natural?
I'm
What?
probably going the natural. I mean, I kind of mix it. I mix and match. Some days are the different one. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling.
Okay. All right. All right. I
There,
was
yeah, like you said, there is a Hutch or there is a Chili's in Hutch. So maybe we get a couple wins in the national tournament. All of a sudden, that neon glow draws you in. Get some crispers.
I just think we need to record a show from Chili's, but I'm not in charge of those decisions. So, anyways, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck the rest of the season on that push to make the national tournament, and good luck the rest of the way. When we come back, we're going to get into the grind.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for two-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We're going to talk now about Wesley Rosa in the grind. Brandon, you had Mr. Rosa at your event this summer. The big man, I think his game and his recruiting picking up steam. 7'2" from Dodge City, from West Africa, averaging 7 points, 9 rebounds a game. Already has 53 block shots. If you're not familiar with his game, Brandon, what are the people getting in Wesley Rosa?
He's really big. Like imagine the biggest person that you've ever been around, and he's probably bigger. And he wears a size 20 shoe, which is crazy. He played in JA48 with us, and Puma had to special make a shoe for him because they just don't sell 20s. So they got him the shoes, and Todd held it up by his head about like this. But the nicest kid in the world, incredibly tough, and finding a way to really be a true impact big at that size in junior college is crazy. And then when you watch him play, you're like, all right, he's 7'2", he must plod down the court. No.
He's an
He
athlete.
he is an athlete. And when you go and again, when somebody's that big, a lot of times, they're playing 15, 20 minutes at most because that's just hard to do as a human being at that size. He's got multiple games where he's playing 34, 35 minutes. That's that's crazy.
And
So
you could see the progression, right?
yes.
From like where he was last year to where he is now. Like you can see like week by week, it looks better and better and better.
Yeah, I mean, his best basketball is ahead of him, and he's playing really well right now. So, his recruitment is really going to start taking off. And, again, whoever ends up getting him, is getting just a wonderful kid that plays really hard, that works really hard, and is going to be an impact in that program.
We're going to transition here to the show. I'm going to be selfish, Brad. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite guys
Let
when
it
he was
rip.
in junior college, Tayton Conaway. He was at Ranger. When the Rangers went to Hutch under head coach TJ Cox, he's always been a stat stuffer. He's a guy that's going to get a couple blocks, a couple steals, 6'3", 190 pounds, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists a game for Indiana, the Hoosiers. They're a football school, but they also have basketball. They participate in the basketball. He had a great path. He goes to Troy. He is the conference player of the year. You can tell me what conference that is. I think Sun Belt, but don't hold me to that. And he went to the right level out of Ranger, did incredibly well, has this opportunity to, Power 5, Power 4 school in Indiana, and just having a really nice season for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their success comes through the things that he's done this year. He's playing like a guy that the NBA is gonna be keeping an eye on. He's got really good size and strength. His ability to see the floor is just something that's at that level, and at that level you have to have somebody like that to be successful. So, Indiana playing much better basketball now. I want to say they're 13-4, 12-4, something like that. And so coming into Big Ten play, he's going to be locked and loaded and ready.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch down the stretch. All right, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have our closing thoughts. We call it the sixth man.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. Brandon, one of the cool things about this season watching Division I basketball outside of the JUCO is some of our former friends and guys that we've been on the program and guys that you know really well as head coaches are doing a great job. Fill in our listeners who may not be as familiar with the great work that's happening.
Yeah, a couple really good ones out there right now. Coach Jeremy Schulman at UT Martin has them rocking. It's an interesting job there. Martin, Tennessee, probably not the beach destination that some might imagine it would be. He's just done an unreal job there. He's recruited a ton of international players. Obviously, at that level, you're going to have a lot of turnover now with NIL and transfers and everything like that. And so, realistically, it's not unusual for him because he's like, yeah, I came from Eastern Florida. I'm used to having to replace all these players all the time. He's done a really good job recruiting freshmen that are coming in. He's done a really good job of recruiting or retaining players from last year that were role guys that are now significant impact guys like Filip Radakovich and Often Trinka. So, not only bringing in the new guys, but retaining them. He's doing a wonderful job there. UT Martin rolling and having one of the best starts to their season ever. And then, and he's growing his hair out. So that's important in our world. And then, some of the other best hair in basketball is with Coach Hank Polona.
All of basketball.
Yeah. So, they're at 10-6, I believe, right now, and has them playing well. Terrion Murdix is back, which is huge for them. He was out for a while, and that's just a really hard player to replace. So they survived, and now he's back and playing well. And so, Western Kentucky also having a really good season. And expect if Terrion can stay healthy to continue to climb that ladder there. So just great to see former JUCO coaches. There are others in Division I having good seasons as well. So, as we kind of start getting closer to that job cycle time, athletic directors out there, just telling you, you got all this NIL stuff and things like that. Junior college coaches are used to having to deal with replacing a lot of players at once. So, take a look at the guys being successful. Don't be afraid to reach out to, some of those top JUCO coaches, maybe deserving of Division I head jobs.
I would not bet against some of these top junior college head coaches to continue to do well at the Division I level. Kurt Cignetti, right? It's all about getting the right coach at the right time. He just needed the opportunity. So many of these coaches, like the Jeremy Schulmans and the Hank Plona, they're just looking for the opportunity. You give them the opportunity. I think success will happen. But Brandon, thank you so much for your insights. It was a pleasure to spend some time with you. I hope all of our fans have a great junior college week. Hopefully we highlighted some games for you. So have a wonderful week. We'll see you here same time next week.